How's it going, everyone? The PlayStation Store is running its extended play as well as its Mega March sale. The extended play sale, while it's a smaller sale and while a lot of the deals are like superfluous Dragon Ball Xenoverse DLC content, there are some low-key gems as a part of that sale. Gonna be looking at deals across both sales and the deals under $5. Now keep in mind, the extended play sale ends on March the 20th. The Mega March sale ends on March the 13th. So the first deals I'll cover will be from the extended play sale since that just kicked off. I'll let you guys know when we get to it. Once we start talking about the Mega March deals, those end on March the 13th. Technically March the 14th at like 3 a.m., but you guys get the idea. So let's get right into it. Right off the top, we got Yakuza 0, 75% off for $4.99. It wouldn't be a Game Cross deals video if we don't get our shilling in for RGG titles. Yakuza 0 is absolutely awesome. It is a great game, and it's probably the gateway title to the RGG games that most people recommend. I usually do prefer to recommend Judgment just because Judgment is a little bit more modernized. It has English voice acting, which I know people think is blasphemy to play one of these games with English voice acting, but I think to attract a new audience, it might be something that'll be beneficial in that regard. Regardless, Yakuza 0 is the kickoff to Kiryu's story, and it is done incredibly well. Story is great. Combat does show its age a little bit, but as a beat-em-up brawler, it works well, and it's a really well done game. Again, shows its age a little bit, given that it's north of a decade old, but great game for $4.99. Definitely would give it a solid recommendation. Next up, this is a low-key banger for the price point. Kingdom Come Deliverance Royal Edition is just randomly buried in the sale for $3.99. It would be one thing if it was like $8 or $10. That'd be like, alright, that's the regular price KCD goes for with the Royal Edition, but for $4, this deal is literal highway robbery, and it's just buried in the middle of this sale. Guys, this is an RPG that I can understand is not going to be for everyone. It does really rely and lean on its historical themes and things like that, the realistic aspects of it, but it's a really well done RPG, solid story, visuals are great, has a few performance issues here and there, but for $3.99, guys, this is an excellent deal, especially given that this is the Royal Edition with all of the bonus content. I'd have to say that this is one of the best deals across any PlayStation Store sale, and one of the best deals literally of this year. That is not hyperbole when you're talking about getting a game like this with all of the bonus content. Like, I strongly recommend this for $4. It's just a bargain. Definitely gotta give that a shout. Next up, we got Outlast Bundle of Terror, 90% off for $2.89. I mean, solid horror game. You also get Outlast Whistleblower. Outlast was one of the more iconic horror games of its time. At this point, I feel like the majority of you have played it, but if not, definitely check it out at that price point. Then we also got Amnesia Collection, 85% off for $4.49. Another very iconic horror game. Now, Amnesia The Dark Descent is a very iconic horror game. I wouldn't really say that about Machine for Pigs, but both games are still worthwhile to go through. Definitely Dark Descent is. Machine for Pigs was more of a mixed bag, but still, given you're getting it with this collection, I would still say it's something you should at least give a shot to. Next up, we got Valkyria Chronicles Remastered, 75% off for $4.99. It's one of those JRPGs I always go to bat for, and I liked a lot of aspects of this game. I think narratively, it's one of those JRPGs that really anybody can get into. It's just a gripping war story. You have a likable cast of characters. I wouldn't say they're a blowaway, or it's a blowaway cast with characters with a lot of depth to it, but they're all likable characters, I would say, and the gameplay style is really well done. It is more of a tactics-based combat style. It's not like you have this big open world to explore or anything like that. The game's told in a very unique style with the use of this storybook, but it works really well. Watercolor art style is fantastic. For $4.99, I think this is a great deal, and I would definitely give that a shout. Next up, we have Just Cause 3 XXL Edition, 86% off for $4.19. Now, this is a game that had a litany of issues when it initially came out. A lot of those issues have been remedied, and now you're paying a fraction of what people like me paid at launch back in December of 2015, and Just Cause 3 still holds true in its essence in that it is an over-the-top, chaotic, open-world action title. That's what you're always going to get out of a Just Cause game. No, you're not going to get emotionally captivated by the story of Rico Rodriguez, but you will have a kick-ass time doing a lot of crazy things in the open world, and that's always where Just Cause is going to shine. For the XXL Edition, $4 and change, definitely a good pickup there. So that is going to conclude the deals from the extended play sale. Again, it is a smaller sale, so that's why there's not that many, but I think all of those deals are exceptional from that sale. Alright, now moving on to the Mega March sale, we'll go through these fairly quickly. We got Mad Max, 75% off for $4.99. Really enjoyed this as an open world action title as well. Visually looked fairly good, performance was really good in this game, story was interesting, especially by the end, and I thought the combat was pretty satisfying. Unfortunately, we'll never get a follow-up title for this, but $4.99 I think is a good deal. Speaking of games we won't get a follow-up title for that absolutely deserve it, Sleeping Dogs Definitive Edition is $4.49. This game is absolutely exceptional. It is a super underrated game, and I thought Square Enix did a phenomenal job with it, and the team behind it. Wei Shen was one of the more compelling main characters that you're gonna get out of a crime-themed game like this, and a lot of people will say it's GTA in Hong Kong, but it's really a lot more than that in the sense that, you know, it's more of a contained open world, and it's got to focus on this mature, gritty narrative. I thought they did a really good job with it. Soundtrack's great, visuals still hold up fairly decently. For $4.49, really good pickup there. Next up, we got Dragon's Crown Pro, 80% off for $3.99. Obviously, Vanillaware, the studio behind this game, in the news right now, given that they're about to release Unicorn Overlord, which that game looks fantastic, but Dragon's Crown Pro, in my opinion, was actually the weakest of the games that they've put out, but that's not really saying much, given that I think every single one of their games have been literally fantastic. Dragon's Crown Pro, I don't think is fantastic, but it's pretty damn close, and it's still a solid action beat-em-up RPG. $3.99, good price on that as well. Cat Quest is 75% off for $3.24. This is a very accessible, charming, and easy RPG to get into, a little bit on the shorter side for sure for an RPG, but a game that's tailor-made for somebody kind of new to gaming, or for somebody that just wants something that's a little bit more on the easy side. Like, let's say you've been playing, I don't know, a Souls-like for a while, and you want something that offers a polar opposite style of experience. Well, Cat Quest is going to offer you that for $3.24. I do think that's a pretty damn good deal, so definitely would give that a shout. Next up, we got Bulletstorm Full Clip Edition, 90% off for $3.99. Now, if you want to talk polar opposites, Cat Quest, the type of game you show to your kid to get them into gaming or whatever the deal is. Bulletstorm, you tuck the kids away to bed. Yeah, you don't let them experience Bulletstorm. This game is so vulgar, so over the top, a little bit to the point of I'm like, all right, guys, let's take the foot off the gas a little bit, because it gets a little bit like too much for me. Still, from a gameplay standpoint, I think the game is so much fun. It is so chaotic, so hectic, so fast-paced. And I think it's really well done in that regard. The issue with this game at launch was that it was a $60 game for a campaign that was like 5 to 6 hours long. It's a super short game. I believe that back in the day, though, they bundled the Gears 3 beta with this, I think. I want to say it was Gears 3. No way it was Gears Judgment, because who would care about the Gears Judgment beta? I think it was Gears 3. But I think they bundled in the Gears 3 beta with it, and like people got super excited and ended up buying the game for the Gears 3 beta, much like they did with Crackdown and Halo 3. That's a very, very smart way to promote a lesser known game, but nonetheless, $3.99 for Bulletstorm Full Clip Edition, definitely a good shout there. Little Nightmares, 75% off for $4.99. This has been a PlayStation Plus Essential title in the past. Really well done atmospheric survival horror game. Very, very engrossing from a world standpoint. The gameplay isn't anything to write home about, but I think from a world standpoint and getting you invested into the atmosphere of the game, they do a really good job in that regard. Little Nightmares 2 is awesome as well. Little Nightmares 3 in development, so check those out as well. I mean, Little Nightmares 2 now. Little Nightmares 3, when it does ultimately drop. Wolfenstein: The New Order, 75% off for $4.99. This is available on PlayStation Plus Extra. Really enjoyed Wolfenstein: The New Order. It would be great if we did get some full-on upgrades for some of these older titles on PS5, but you know, going back to New Order, this game is literally a decade old, and it was a cross-gen game that was released on the PlayStation 3, so yeah, I wouldn't expect this to be getting an upgrade, but New Order was an enjoyable first-person shooter, has a little bit of length to it as well in terms of content for a single-player FPS. $4.99, not a bad deal there. Next up, we got Evil Within, 75% off for $4.99 on this as well. Very, very well done third-person survival horror game, very basic in terms of the fundamental gameplay aspects, but I think as a horror game, done fairly well, and for $5, not a bad pickup. And lastly, we have Mirror's Edge Catalyst, which is 85% off for $2.99. Mirror's Edge Catalyst, to a lot of people, was a very disappointing game, myself included, given that I had, you know, delusions of grandeur when it came to Mirror's Edge Catalyst, to say the least. I thought it was going to be this remarkable game, and, you know, I loved Mirror's Edge from 2008. I didn't think Catalyst was on that level, but it was still a pretty well done game from its parkour gameplay standpoint and platforming. It's done fairly well, and you are paying 1/20th, literally 1/20th of the initial cost, 5% of the initial cost. So like, you're getting a much better value proposition here than I did, and I still think ultimately the game was fairly well done, and for $2.99, not a bad pickup, and I would definitely give it a look if you have yet to. But that is gonna do it for me. We got a lot of great deals under the price of $5 right now. Links to all of these in the description box below. As always, sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.